I made the mistake of doing a Tough Mudder this weekend, Gil Leberton. A 13-mile obstacle course with 26 obstacles. I know, it sounded good at the time. What is the dumbest thing you've ever attempted?
Well, it wasn't the dumbest, but the most ridiculous thing would have been Army Basic Training, Fort Polk, Louisiana, fall of 1970.
That's tough to top. Ziggy, you got something?
Yes. So one time at a friend's party, his side door on his garage was locked, and so rather than wait for the key, I made the joke of like ramming it with my shoulder as a joke, but I did it, and the door splintered under my weight, and the frame buckled. Oh. And then I turned around after I got off the ground, and my friend was standing right behind me with the key.
With the key.
With the key.
We could combine all those three and do a good episode of the Three Stooges.
Yeah, that's true.
PressBox Live, Season 3, Episode 3. I am back from Ireland. Sorry to disappoint you. I'm here with Gil Leberton. I'm here with John. Where did he go now?
I think Ziggy had a good theory.
Yes, I think that he is practicing his dressage right now.
Right.
He is a horseman, isn't he?
He's a horseman now.
I thought he might have got caught in some bobblehead crossfire with Lee Harvey's rifle or something.
Right.
John Henry.
He's at the bobblehead hospital with tattoos.
That's rehabbing.
Yeah.
All right, John Henry not here. We're going to hang out today, and we're going to discuss a lot of things DFW sports-wise. But the first thing is going to be, I think Dak Prescott's a top 10 quarterback.
Explain,
and I never
please.
thought I would say that.
Explain.
Okay, we're going to do a little exercise. So, first of all, I mean, I watched the game Sunday. He still looks like, he just looks different, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely. Confident
in the pocket, like has awareness.
Pocket
and
awareness.
a presence.
Right.
Like before, he would take off running when he didn't need to, and he would stay when he shouldn't. And now he looks like, he just looks different. I got to give John Kitna and Kellen more credit.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it was Scott Linehan before, and Dak hasn't changed. He hadn't organically changed that much in one season.
And they're really doing it with four offensive linemen because the left guard's not helping him at all.
Dak is, I mean, just
look at his throw.
Not just his accuracy, which is leaps and bounds what it was a year ago.
There's no way he hits that throw last year.
Here's what I'm saying. There's no way he throws that throw last year because he thinks, well, that guy's not wide open. I'm not going to throw it.
Yeah.
But now he says, if I throw the ball where he's running to, even though he's covered, he can separate and he'll be open. He just didn't have that mindset, that quarterback acumen before, and that's where I give Kitna and Kellen Moore some credit. Dak is, I mean, he's this sounds crazy, and it's way premature. We're in week 2. He's the leading candidate to be in the NFL MVP. Is that early enough for you after 2 games? He is.
But yeah, I mean, who else you got? You know, if you in that discussion,
right? It's ridiculous. But Dak he's blown away all. If I'm Dak's agent, he doesn't take another snap until he gets a contract.
That's the thing.
He should be in Cabo right now. Like, forget it. I'm not coming. I know it works.
Of course,
so
he's not that kind of guy.
Exactly right.
And he knows he'll be paid.
So Dak he's never missed a snap. Is one thing. He's so durable. He's so reliable. We talked about his accuracy, and even his play fakes are better. He's got the pocket awareness.
Exceptionally better.
Yes, his play fakes are like exaggerated and much better. He'll still make a bad throw, but he's not making bad reads. He's just a different, better quarterback. How good is he? Now, again, he's better, and his peers have gotten decidedly worse throughout this NFL season. Let's just go through a couple of guys who we used to think, oh, Dak's not better than him. Andrew Luck.
Gone.
Retired. Cam Newton.
Who knows?
Not gone, but he's got a foot,
Bad foot? We
dramatic,
don't know.
mysterious foot thing where
Riverboat Ron Rivera, his head coach, says not the foot. It's not the foot.
I don't know, but I right
Looks
there,
like a
there's proof of the foot.
I don't know. Maybe
Maybe
this
it's
is
his
like
shoe.
the
I
laces.
don't know. Maybe it's his shoe. He didn't. It was 4th and 1 against who they play, Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Thursday night game, and they didn't give it to Cam when before that was a no-brainer. Something's wrong with him.
6 sacks,
Yeah,
no
come on.
touchdown passes.
Yeah, and
so
he's not
far.
practicing this week.
Right.
but it's not the foot.
Not the foot.
More NFL injury news, which elevates Dak Prescott. Ben Roethlisberger
Out for the season.
out for the season with elbow surgery, replaced by Oklahoma State's finest Mason Rudolph. Sam Darnold of the Jets. Now, I'm not saying Sam Darnold was better than Dak, but Dak gets to now leapfrog the Jets, whoever the hell they have, because Sam Darnold. This is a live webcam of Sam Darnold's. Looks like his dorm room
That's well
with Joe
done.
Willie on the wall.
And this
Sam
was
Darnold-
the cover of the New York Post.
Yeah, it was the cover of the New York Post. That's how they treat their quarterbacks. He's got mono, and we don't know when he's coming back. And Gil, I know this is near and dear to your heart. Probably kicked you right in the crotch.
Yeah, it breaks my heart.
Drew Brees. Still waiting for you to call him. So he's still waiting for you.
Yeah,
You to call him.
The curse of not calling.
Look at that
PressBox
picture, though.
DFW
That was a
live.
great picture.
Oh, yeah, that's it
when
in a
he-
nutshell.
Yeah.
Torn ligaments in his thumb,
6 weeks, right?
at least 6 weeks.
Yeah. Now he was so totally better than Dak, and now he's out. So Dak, let's bump him up a little bit. Eli Manning. Bench. Officially, the word came down this morning. Eli Manning benched in favor of first-round draft pick Daniel Jones. I think because he's won 2 Super Bowls, we all had Eli ranked ahead of Dak Prescott. Bump up Dak a little more. And I even forgot on this list, Nick Foles is hurt in Jacksonville. There's another guy that was better
That's
than
right.
Dak. So, as of right now, as we go into week 3 of the NFL season, there are only 4 quarterbacks starting in week 3 that have won a Super Bowl. Only 4, and there's 32 teams.
Brady.
Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Joe Flacco.
Wow.
That's it. That's a diluted field, but Dak's play combined with diluted field, all of a sudden Zach's looking pretty good. Here's what we're going to do. Let's go through this little exercise. I'm going to give you the quarterbacks that are starting for their team in week 3, okay? You tell me, Gil Leberton, and you keep the tally, Ziggy, in your cave. If
This
you would
is
rather
not prepared.
No, this is totally off the cuff. I like this. This is organic. You tell me, would you rather have Dak or the guy that I mentioned? And at the end, we're going to see where you rank Dak.
Okay.
Week 3 quarterbacks. We're going to start with what I think are the no-brainer easy ones. Pat Mahomes, Chiefs.
Oh, Pat Mahomes.
Okay. Russell Wilson, Seahawks.
I'll take Russell.
Aaron Rodgers, Packers.
I'll take Aaron Rodgers.
Jared Goff, Rams.
Close. I'd take Goff.
Okay. Tom Brady, Patriots.
Well, okay.
Matt Ryan, Falcons.
Dak Prescott.
Really?
Yes.
Ziggy, tally it. Phillip Rivers, Chargers.
Dak Prescott right now.
Now this is for week 3. Who would you rather have starting, right?
I'll take Dak Prescott.
Okay. Matthew Stafford,
Dak Prescott.
Joe Flacco,
Dak Prescott.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Cam Newton.
Dak Prescott.
You know, let me resent. Cam Newton may not start. If he doesn't, it's our old friend Will Greer, who played for West Virginia last week.
year.
I mean, yeah, last year. Let's assume it's going to be Cam. But you can't assume a healthy Cam because he's not.
Yeah, but I don't know the Cam we're seeing right now. So
Right.
I'll take Dak Prescott. I'm going by the current Dak Prescott.
Yes, you are. You're going to have him number 4th in the league.
Yes.
All right, now it gets a little dicey, and this is where I thought the guys I think I might have Dak over. Derek Carr, Raiders.
Oh, Dak.
Deshaun Watson, Texans.
Well, just go keep. Well, all right. I'll take Dak, but you know,
I'll rifle through these then.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson. He's had a good year, but Josh Allen, Carson Wentz. That's who he's always compared to because the same draft class. Starting week 3, do you want Carson or do you want Dak?
Dak Prescott.
Same. Baker Mayfield.
Dak Prescott.
Kyler Murray.
Dak Prescott.
Okay, now it gets easier, I think. Case Keenum.
Okay.
Jameis Winston.
Okay.
Forget it. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay.
Marcus Mariota.
Okay.
See how it gets real bad real quick?
So I've got him like number 5,
I've got
right?
you got breaking news. Mitch Trubisky,
Well-
Andy Dalton. Jacksonville starting somebody named Gardner Minshew.
Right. Well, even if you think,
Hold on, you're not done yet.
oh, okay.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, Luke Falk of the Jets, because Trevor Siemian got hurt last night.
Oh, God. That's
Jacoby
right.
Brissett, Daniel Jones, Teddy Bridgewater, Mason Rudolph, Kirk Cousins. Any of those?
No.
Ziggy, what are we looking at? Where does Gil have him ranked? Out of 32.
Out of 32, you have him sixth. Sixth in the league.
Well,
All right, you need to do
even-
the show while I tweet that.
even if you-
Breaking news, the Gil
even
Everton
if
rankings
you-
has Dak sixth.
Well, even if you think that Flacco should start
It's just
over
based
him,
on his
it's-
Super Bowl.
There's an argument there.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was the other one, Ziggy, that Richie got all offended by?
I did not get offended. Who was that? Jared Goff. Well, you took Goff though. You took Goff, but you got him sixth. So you're not far off. This is my whole premise. Was all of a sudden we used to say he's a middle of the road guy. He's elevated. The field is diluted. Now think about this. Think about all the guys that you just picked over Dak. Only 5 of them, right? Think about 3 years from now. All of a sudden, the Cowboys are like, Dak's got leverage. I mean, I know it's just 2 games, but you picked Mahomes. He'll be around in 3 years. Russell Wilson, 3 years. He'll probably be around. Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Right. Tom Brady?
No.
Matt Ryan? I mean, all of a sudden, you're
He'll
looking
be
at,
around, but
right.
Dak's still better than him.
I mean, if the
yeah,
current-
you took Dak over Ryan earlier.
Right. I
Yeah.
took Dak over Ryan. And I believe that.
if the current trajectories continue, which I know, again, it's 2 weeks for Dak, and this is a new Dak, he's a top 5 quarterback 3 years from now.
The only
That's how. If I'm his agent, I'm doing this. I'm using this show right now as my talking points at the negotiation table.
The only break that I would tap here, and Cowboy fans hate to hear this, is who have they played?
It's legit though.
Two bad teams. I
Not
was
bad.
really disappointed in Washington. I mean, what are they doing?
They're starting Case Keenum. That's what they're doing.
That's the problem.
At the end of the year, and the Cowboys play the Dolphins on Sunday, who may be the worst of all of them. 21-point
right.
favorites. Cowboys are 3-touchdown favorite in the NFL. Hasn't happened since 1987. That's how bad the Dolphins are. We look back, and we're doing the show in December. We're going to look back and say the Cowboys started the season with 3 of the 5 worst teams in the NFL. Giants are horrible. Redskins are horrible. Dolphins are historically horrible. So I'm with you. He needs to prove it against better teams. But so far, so great.
And I think the New Orleans game in 2 weeks will be a good test because even though they've lost Drew Brees, they have a good roster. So they'll be a competitive team. The thinking in New Orleans right now is, well, Drew Brees will be out for the rest of the first half of the season. They have an off week in week 9. And the Saints' second half of the season is very easy. If a healthy Drew Brees comes back,
Right.
then they can still make the playoffs, and they'll be a formidable playoff team. But I think that game will be a good test. Maybe the first good test, probably the first good test.
So think about
for Dak and the Cowboys.
This is why Cowboys fans are salivating and licking their chops and rubbing their hands together. The Cowboys' first real test of the year may come against Teddy Bridgewater.
That's right.
That's how it's lined up.
That's right.
For the Cowboys is why they have to be excited. Cowboys,
right.
Dolphins, Sunday, 21-point favorites. All right, next up, let's try a little pregame meal. Wait, that guy's in the Hall of Fame?
Welcome to this week's pregame meal, which is meat and potatoes as usual.
Sponsored by Meat and Potatoes.
Sponsored by meat and potatoes. Well, actually, I like seafood's always good.
There you go.
I went to lovely West Lafayette, Indiana over the weekend.
We're going to get to that in Wits End. We're going to compare trips. Ireland versus West Lafayette.
And of course, you've got the TCU and all the good folks from Fort Worth, Texas, coming in for the game in the heartland of America.
Was there a good,
surrounded by cornfields and
was there good representation from Fort Worth up there?
Oh, excellent!
Really?
TCU travels well. They really do. Their fans are good. Plus, there's a very large group of TCU alums in the Chicago area that made the trip. 2-hour
Gotcha.
drive, and so. But in the press box for the pregame meal, they had fajitas.
In West Lafayette?
Yeah, we're going, what?
Did they do it right?
What?
Did they? Do
I
them
didn't
right?
bother. I'm not. I'm not.
Didn't
No.
bother. Wow. Just dismissed Indiana.
I went for the salad. You know,
the salad.
it was.
All right, where are we today? What's this backdrop?
This would be the home of the 12th man,
Yeah.
not Seattle. That would be Kyle Field. And look at that. That's it in all of its expanded glory. I
Why
think.
is that? I'm not, as you know, I'm not a big A&M fan, but why? Why can not a bunch of engineers not build a stadium that's symmetric?
Well, it's been done in pieces.
Look at
and,
that.
And
like,
that
just to, I mean, right over the D in DFW. Why is there like a? Oh, we ran out of money. You can only build it that high. Like there's like a gouge there. Like
oh,
somebody
you think it
bombed
should be even? Well,
I mean, it's not a baseball park.
They
but like,
needed a place to put the
trademark-
flags. They put the flags there, see?
engineers. I'm saying
So
That's
they could
what
salute
thought.
during the national. But look at the whole. See, this is the problem
Just
I have
looks like
with.
it was built in pieces, not as one diagram.
Right. It's the largest stadium in a league that's filled with gaudy,
Yeah.
overbuilt stadiums.
Could have been. Could have been more.
The end zone is enormous.
Yes, it is.
This end zone right here is just enormous. And okay, I mean, if that's where you want to sit, fine. But you better have a better non-conference schedule than some of these teams are lining up, or else
They played Southwest Texas
StubHub
State last
is
weekend.
Yeah. StubHub almost gives away tickets for those non-conference games.
I'm actually
in
going.
stadiums that size.
A&M fans, you've been warned. I'm coming down. I'm coming down to the
this ought to be
milkman.
good. There we go.
I'm coming down.
See
I'm watching and attending A&M Alabama.
He's inviting you. See, Richie, he's
Yeah.
telling you right there. He's just got the wrong finger.
Yeah,
up.
one more finger, and I'm going to be invited officially. I'm going to the A&M Alabama game, October 12th, so I'll give a full report. I'm going to.
Are you really?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Well, A&M probably thinks they're going to win.
They absolutely come down for the.
They've
the
beaten them.
victory
After
party.
all, they've beaten them once before.
Yeah, they beat them 10 years ago.
2012.
Right. All right, so there's Kyle Field and all
And
that.
David Van Deven's watching, and he says he loves the Kyle Field background. So
Who's that?
David Van Deven.
Oh, on our Facebook Live, we got a shout out.
Yeah. Well, look,
Somebody's gotta love it.
Aggie Land's a great place to
is.
watch
It
a
is.
football game.
It's amazing
and
tradition.
It's kinky and quirky.
Kinky.
It is kinky. I mean, you kiss your girlfriend on the, I mean,
Yeah.
okay, very strange. But I'm not going to knock tradition. There are plenty of bad traditions.
True that.
And wacky traditions. But one of the things, something came up during the preparation for the Cowboys game last week that got me to thinking, and that was the discussion about whether or not Adrian Peterson was owed the courtesy of starting, because after all, he is a future Hall of Famer. And that phrase is future Hall of Famer is tossed around in football almost as much as baseball. And so it got me to thinking about, well, in pro football, isn't everybody there's so many people in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
It is weird.
That aren't there offensive linemen out there that are destined to be in that will never.
Everybody that's ever took a snap is a future Hall of Fame.
It seems
potential
like it. Now,
candidate.
here's the old.
It looks like a small place. There's a lot of
I think
players
this
in
is
there.
an old. I think this is an old photo.
Yeah, it is.
Because that used to be the entrance to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Very 1960-ish. It kind of looks like a Holiday Inn
Yeah.
with a cathedral. I don't know, football. I mean, a bomb fell in the middle. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
This is the new entrance, and they've really fixed it up nicely. I was very impressed last time I went there. I thought, it was night and day.
Yes.
And the room with all the busts in it, although a bit creepy, was
It is creepy.
It's dark.
Yeah.
But it's well done. I like it, and you can even recognize some of the people from the actual bus. I should be kinder there, because
I think that's interesting that you call that creepy though, because why don't we do that for like our loved ones?
yeah.
Like dear old grandma who you loved so much, she passed away. Why wouldn't you do a bust of her and like put it on your nightstand?
Why don't we kind of do that now with statues?
Yeah, but you don't have a statue of your grandma, do you?
No,
it's just
that would
weird
be
we do it for
creepy.
our hero, like our athletes,
That
but
would-
we don't do it for our
no,
loved one.
No, that's way
That's
too
creepier
creepy.
than
That's-
having Curly Lambeau to go look at him.
But yeah, that's a good point though. That is.
So do I have a cottage business here, industry?
I think you might.
Look,
Now,
it's a family reunion. Come on down.
you know what's funny?
See all my family.
Well, Gil Brandt just got named
He
this
did.
year to the Hall of Fame, and again, our congratulations to Gil. He's he's been a great help. This is his bus. Now, does that look like
No,
Gil Brandt?
Wouldn't have known that was Gil Brandt. I mean, the mouth looks like it, but
I think what
the
I
eyes.
think.
I mean, the hair looks like Jimmy Swaggart or some
No.
sort of
Yeah,
televangelist,
well,
doesn't it?
But what I think is who would really like who wore it better.
Yeah.
I think this next guy, and that would be
Drum roll.
drum roll, please. No, not that guy. no. We're talking, of course, about current NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell.
Yeah.
And if you look at the hair, if you look at the
Yeah, I
face,
get it now.
And there.
You think
See?
Roger Goodell
You
ordered
think he switched
Gil
it?
Brandt's
I think
bust
he
to look
switched
more
it.
like me?
Yeah, that's it.
What a dictator.
Or maybe, I don't know, maybe Gil remembers himself as a young Roger Goodell. But, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's, great honor.
Yeah.
Kudos to Gil Brandt. And
What's up, Commissioner? How you looking?
And, I mean, he's eternal now. He's in Canton.
Yep.
And-
He's a made man.
And
He deserves it, but not everybody in there does.
the thing that threw me off was I happened to see after the Adrian Peterson discussion, I saw that there was a
So, real quick, do you think Adrian Peterson's a no-brainer Hall of Famer?
he probably is under the criteria
They let a lot of people
that's
in.
in it. And I saw a note that said that that next year they're going to pick a centennial class for the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Okay.
And they're going to double the amount of people
Oh,
that
dear.
go in. Instead of 10, they're going to send 20 people.
There's already too
They're just
many.
going to need a bus. They're going to need a bus to get them into the auditorium for the press
Yeah, that
conference.
20, it cheapens it. I'm sorry. It just does.
It does.
But you traveled around. This kind of is what you're talking about. You've gone to NFL stadiums, obviously.
Yeah.
And when you go to like the Chiefs, I think, or even the Redskins.
The Redskins were used
and
to
you go
be
look
famous.
at the names and you're like, never heard of this guy. I mean, no offense, Redskins history, but it's like, you're like, I had to Google, like, look him up, and he was like, he was all pro once. And you're
did-
like, how's
you know
he
how-
in your ring of honor?
You know how you get to be a modern era nominee for the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Somebody has to nominate you. It can be anybody. It can be a fan.
What?
So consequently, this year there's 122 players and coaches on the current list of modern era nominees, and let's look at some of these names. These are all nobodies who are.
Here's how you know the Hall of Fame, before we get to that list. Here's how you know the Pro Football Hall of Fame's out of control. There's an entire wing devoted to sports writers, professional sports writers who wrote about the NFL. There doesn't need to be a Hall of Fame wing for writers.
Well, it's not really a wing, but yeah,
It's like a hall. Okay, it's a broom closet, but
there's a display.
Yes,
There's a display.
There's writers that we know that we roll our eyes at that are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. All right, anyway.
Okay, let's look at this list. These names are all on the modern era nominees. Leroy Glover
No.
passed briefly through Dallas.
What? I mean, he went to a Pro Bowl, but get out of here with a Hall
Jake
of Fame.
Delhomme.
Started a Super Bowl, but
That's
no,
right.
he's not. No,
Jeff
what?
Hostetler won a
Super Bowl.
Our good friend Kevin Gogan. God
Come
bless him.
on, there's no way. Who nominated him as a joke?
Kevin Gogan, whose posterior was once mistaken
Kevin
for
Gogan
for the
would
center.
be offended that Kevin Gogan was nominated. There's
Somebody
no doubt.
nominated him. Somebody nominated him.
I think
And-
Aikman nominated him as a joke. I really do. They were buddies. Sean Landette, the punter?
the putter.
Come on.
The putter. Not even a great putter.
No. Had a 4-yard punt in the NFC Championship game against the Bears. That's ridiculous.
I could envision people being in a bar and saying, "Hey, I've had plenty. Let's call up call up
Pro
Ken and
Football
nominate
Highlight,
Gogan."
Landetta. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so I had fun putting together a few little lists here,
All right.
and I'm going to kind of quiz you, and maybe Ziggy on this if he dares participate. And the first one I'd call is I call this my "Here's to You, Mr. Robinson" list.
All right.
All right, you see these names.
I do.
Jerry Robinson, Johnny Robinson, Dave Robinson, Isaiah Butch Robertson, and Coach John Robinson. Who's in the Hall of Fame for this list? Who's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Now,
And I'll tell you, it's more than one.
John Robinson was a great college coach. He's not in it. Isaiah Robertson.
You are correct. He's in the College Football Hall
Right.
of Fame.
Isaiah Robertson, I didn't ever know him as Butch, but I think he was a linebacker for the Rams, but he's not in the Hall of Fame. Dave Robinson was an old timer. I think he's in it. And I have no idea about Johnny or Jerry. No idea. Dave's in it though, right?
Dave's in it.
Yes.
And Johnny Robinson was part of Kansas City Chiefs defensive back, was part of this year's class.
Did not know.
Jerry Robinson, old linebacker for, I guess, the Eagles, not in it. And Isaiah Butch Robertson, although he had a nice career with the Rams.
He was with her. Okay, good. So I recognize three of the people, but I didn't.
did
Johnny
not
and
make
Jerry, they could have been
Okay.
the bust at the family unit.
Now we're going to go from the good guys in brown list.
Okay.
And we've got Jim Brown, Bob Brown, Tim Brown, Roosevelt Brown, Willie Brown, and Paul Brown.
Dang. Okay.
All right.
Jim Brown's a no-brainer. Tim Brown's in it, local kid. Roosevelt Brown, Willie Brown was with the Raiders. Paul Brown's definitely in it.
Well, this is a trick question. They're all in the Pro Football
Are
Hall
they?
of Fame.
Okay.
All of those Browns are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Okay.
What did
You're
Bob
doing great.
Brown do just for fun? What's his claim
Bob
to
Brown
fame?
was a lineman for the Eagles, I believe. He was an offensive lineman for the Eagles, and at the
Sounds
time
good
he
enough
was
for me.
at
Put
the
him
time
in.
he was a massive 265 pounds.
was
I
he?
think I wouldn't even
He was a road grader
I
at
wouldn't even get him on the
265.
practice squad.
Oh, now he's
nowadays.
Dak. Yeah.
Now my Lewis and Clark expedition list. These are all Clarks.
Dallas Clark is not in the Hall
Tell
of
me
Fame.
who's in the Hall of Fame from this list. Dallas Clark, yes, that's the tight
He's
end.
not in he's from the Colts. Earl Clark sounds like he played like bass for the Jackson 5. Dwight Clark in the catch. Is he in? He's not in the Hall of Fame. Gary Clark is for the Redskins. None of those are in the Hall of Fame.
Earl Clark.
Come on! The bassist is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What did he do? Earl Clark.
I can't remember. I didn't write it down. But I think
That should be on his bust. I
He's
can't
an older.
remember.
His bust is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Dwight Clark, I thought might be in though. He had a nice career.
Yeah. I can't even say his name without
That's
ruining my
true.
day.
That's true. And then lastly, we've got the Davises, and I would tell you right now, 2 of these should be eliminated. 2 of these are not in the Hall of Fame, and it's pretty easy. Should be pretty easy.
Yeah. Terrell Davis is not in yet. Willie Davis is in. Al Davis is in. Eric Davis is not. I don't know Stephen Davis.
Well, Stephen Davis, I think, was the running back. Wasn't he with the
running back.
Redskins? Wasn't he with the Redskins? Eric Davis, pretty good safety, right?
Yeah, but no, he was with the 49ers.
49ers.
Not in. Al Davis, yes. Willie Davis, yes. Packers defensive end, right?
Terrell is in.
Terrell's in the wow.
Yeah, that's what, according to my records. Unless
No, I'm not doubting it.
Unless
I just-
I'm
He deserves it. I mean, 2-time rushing champion, Super Bowl ring.
So the top
I didn't know he
three,
was
the
in
top 3 Davises,
Gotcha.
Terrell, Willie, and Al are all in. Eric Davis and Stephen Davis, no. But my point
The point is, you can just go. I want to see Davis. And they're going to be like, "Here's the Davis wing, sir." There's 72 of them.
yeah, there's always a lot of discussion about who makes it into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's done in a different way than baseball is. I'm a Baseball Hall of Fame voter as a member of the Baseball Writers. You got to be in the Baseball Writers Association for 10 years and then have been actively covering baseball for the previous 10 years. And our system is a flawed system. There's no question, because people go into it with their own agendas
That's
and their
the
own
problem.
prejudices.
Yeah.
In the Pro Football Selection Committee is 48 names, and it's mostly writers.
Yeah.
And they actually meet and pair the list of 123 down to a final 5.
We got enough Davises. Bring me somebody
on
else.
selection Saturday, the day before the Super Bowl, they have a long, drawn-out meeting, and I've seen some friends that have emerged from this meeting, and
It's
they look like
weird.
they've been through the ringer.
And it's weird how, like, locally here, like Shereen Williams, who we know, or Rick
And Goose.
Goslin, would make a presentation for the player. That
Yeah.
seems,
Yeah,
there's something not objective about that.
right.
Like you're basically doing Rich Dalrymple's job for him as a PR for the former Cowboy player. It just feels weird.
It does, and I don't want to question the integrity. A lot of these people are good friends of ours.
Absolutely, sure.
I love them to death, and work with several of them. And
But shouldn't there be a committee?
They take it very seriously,
they do.
and they don't. Somebody almost has to die to open up a spot
Yeah.
on this committee. Wouldn't wish that on anybody. But it's just kind of strange the way they do it, and it's a hot topic. I know that Rick Goslin, our good friend, and Clark Judge even have their own website and their own podcast devoted to it.
Just to the Hall of Fame.
The Talk of Fame Network.
Yeah.
And they talk about, well, what do you think? Is he
Big
in or
business,
is he out?
Pro Football Hall of Fame.
It is. It's big business. And it just seems there's too many that are going in each year. At least 5 players go in, and then you have the guys that are, I'd call them the old timers list, but that have been out more than 25 years, and then you have the whole contributors.
I have a problem with that.
How about the contributors
I
category?
know.
On the old timers list,
Yes.
that might be why you didn't recognize Earl Clark.
Yeah.
He's better known as Dutch Clark,
Dutch
the
Clark.
Flying Dutchman. He was a quarterback for the Lions in the 30s, and he was the first player to ever have his jersey retired by the Lions.
Yeah, Gil, didn't you cover that ceremony back in the
Oh,
30s?
I missed that one. Let's talk about the contributors real quickly, though,
Okay,
because there's a committee that pares down the list of contributors. Apparently, they have consultants that offer their input, and
Right.
and they, now they have. I think they have 2. They're in the centennial class next year. 3 lucky contributors will be.
Sounds like a raffle or something.
It is. 5 modern era players, 10 senior
Oh,
players
God,
coming
no.
next year, 3 contributors and 2 coaches. It's already outlined here, so bring the bus around.
This should be the most sacred place in pro football. There should be
Right.
one exclusive door in, and there's 12 doors in, and sneaky trap doors and side entries. It's too.
Is Jerry
too
Jones a Hall of Famer? I mean, I know he is, but
He should have been. Yes.
for what?
He's the one that revolutionized marketing and told the big boys we're going to go to Fox, and which changed the. I mean,
How does this affect the game of football
because it
or
put
its
billions
fans?
of dollars into the league.
How does it affect the fans? How has he helped the fans? Are ticket prices any lower? Or
No.
the price of beer any lower? Is
No.
parking any lower?
Your viewing experience, which 90% of NFL fans watch it at home on TV, is better.
His claim to
Direct
fame.
TV, Sunday Ticket. He had a hand in all of that.
His claim to fame is putting money in his own pocket
He's
and
very
the
good at-
pocket
he's very good at that.
of his fellow owners. And how does that qualify as an esteemed achievement worthy of being immortalized with a bust in Canton?
Plus, he won 3 Super Bowls.
And fired more Hall of
There's no-
Famers than any man in
So you don't
in
think
history.
Jerry should be in the Hall of Fame?
I think that I couldn't believe how easily he got in.
Do you think Jerry should be in the Hall of Fame?
No,
Wow.
I think his.
I got more tweeting. Gil Everton's on
I
fire
think his
today.
accomplishments in the game of football and what he's done for fans does not qualify him. I mean, he fired Tom Landry. He
There's no
fired
doubt.
Tex Schramm.
Yes.
He fired Gil Brandt. There he is.
Yeah.
Whether Gil remembers it or not. he chased away. He made life bad enough that Bill Parcells left.
That's what he should be in the Hall of Fame for that alone, making Bill Parcells miserable. I totally condone that.
But my point is, he screwed up the football, and yet he's going into a football Hall of Fame. That's my point.
He's a Hall of Fame owner. He's not a Hall of Fame GM. He's not a Hall of Fame personnel guy. He's not a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but he's attained it.
He's not a Hall of Fame fan, economics professor. But he's been good for football.
He took the team of the '90s and he led them straight to the crapper.
But he made them the team of the '90s. I can't believe I'm defending Jerry Jones. What is going on here? All right, there's some NFL Hall of Fame.
Good
talk
discussion.
Read our writing daily at PressBoxDFW.com. Watch us or listen to us if you're on iTunes. Hello, everybody. Weekly here on PressBox DFW Live. Next up in Wits End, I'll tell you how popular the Cowboys are in Ireland. So shout out to American Airlines. I know Gil's going to love this.
Oh, I'm okay.
For a beautiful trip. I went last week to Ireland. Went to Dublin for 7 cities in 7 days, and it was an amazing trip. American had the plane with the phone jack, and you get your own TV, and you could watch. I watched
first
college
class.
football.
Or
Wasn't
business.
first class.
Business.
This was This was steerage, but it was nice.
Oh, wow.
For a 9-hour flight, they treat you okay.
Wow.
And free alcohol, by the way, on international flights. Thank you, American Airlines. So how was your trip to West Lafayette on the same airline?
I don't want to get into it. They lost my luggage again. It's 2 trips in a row. But that's okay. They've apologized plenty.
Good.
Let's talk about Ireland.
Okay, let's. My takeaways from Ireland. Here's what there's not in Ireland, which was refreshing to me, and I was surprised by it. There's no pollution there. Like just a dip. When you look at their sky, it's crystal blue, like royal blue. Whereas here in the summer, it's like call it blue sky, but it's really like almost gray because it's so much haze,
Hazy.
right? Yes. There's no litter. People are so conscientious about picking stuff up. Like one time I dropped something, somebody behind me picked it up and threw it in the trash. It's in their DNA.
Ugly American moment.
I was an accident. I didn't just throw a banana peel. I just dropped something. There's no air conditioning because it never gets above 70 degrees.
I've heard that.
There's no swimming pools because it never gets above 70 degrees.
I've heard that.
There's no sprinkler systems, even on the golf courses, because it rains every stinking day. Like you just don't. They don't. I was like, "Do you have sprinklers?" They're like, "What? Do we have what?" There's no Uber, and there's no guns. Like we saw unarmed policemen just walking down the streets. And there was a story on their CNN is called RTE. And the story was there was a shooting last night. And I was like, oh, and they're like, in London. And I was like, that's their gun story. They have to go to a different country. Whereas here, it's the top 10 stories in Dallas. There was a shooting last night. It was a really safe, beautiful, green country, and it reminded me like it rained every day, but it was also sunny every day. And when it rains there, it's like a gentle mist. It's not like sideways rain, like and with thunderstorm. I compare it to like if you lived in the vegetable compartment of your grocery store, of the produce section. How the little misters come on to keep it fresh. That's what Ireland's like. Everything's green and the flowers are just beautiful. It's just such a different place.
However, winter is 10 months of the year.
It's very true. And they said right now, winter's about to be, obviously it's going to be fall. And they have periods where it never gets out of the 30s or 40s. And it will snow and it's dark 16, 17 hours a day, which would be depressing.
What time was it getting dark when you were there?
It was light till 9 o'clock. It's crazy. But it's about to be dark at 4 o'clock and the sun doesn't come up until 10. I'm like, that would really suck. So the sports over there are it's so different because their main sports in Ireland, golf, soccer,
sure,
something called Gaelic football, which as far as I can tell is a combination of soccer and rugby, and that's their main stadium, Aviva Stadium there in Dublin, and that's the statue outside of it. So we have Tom Landry and Nolan Ryan. They have this guy, two guys lifting him up to catch a weird ball.
Is this a play? Is this a called play?
I don't know. It was a statue. I'm like, okay. And they have a sport called hurling, which they love, which, as far as I could tell, was like, you know hurling from the Olympics? Do you know it?
No, I don't know hurling.
I thought... I mean, there's a lot of
curling.
Yeah, me too. I know curling.
Hurling. The last I heard hurling was never mind.
That's what John Henry's doing today. That's why he's out here. He's Olympic hurling. But it's like field hockey, but they can take the ball, whatever it is, throw it in the air and then hit it like a baseball bat. But they love that. And they love boxing. They love UFC. Because Colin McGregor is like their main guy right now. But their other athlete heroes right now, Shane Lowry, who won the British Open, Irish golfer, and Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
That's their big three. And the other guys are Gaelic, footballers he'd never heard of. So I was in a pub one night, and I asked a guy, I said, he was at the bar. We were in Limerick. And I said, is American football popular? And he gave me this look like I had a third eye. And his quote was, it has a strange cult following, he says, that people get up in the wee hours to watch it. He says, but I don't personally get it. And I said, why don't you like it? He goes, too many stoppages. Like they don't like the stop-start of it. Because soccer and rugby, I guess, even though the ball goes out of bounds, the clock keeps running. There's not timeouts per se. And that drives them crazy. And I kind of get it. I said, now, what about the Cowboys? Do you like them? And he said, who? Like he did not know the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
I think that was a personal.
See, and that's why Jerry Jones doesn't belong in the.
Maybe you have a point. They're America's team. So I was just surprised by that. I'm going to write a blog about it today.
We'll post
PressBoxDFW.com. My 10 takeaways from Ireland. I love it, but I couldn't live there because of the sports. It's not important enough for them.
They don't have Eurosport. Their ESPN, isn't it still called Eurosport?
No, it wasn't. I don't know what they.
Every
time I turn on the sports, they had Gaelic football on. All right, I'll tell you about. I didn't see the game, but Gaelic football, again, you can kick a ball. It's a round ball, but you can kick it through what looks like a soccer goal, or you can run with it and score a touchdown, or you can kick it through what looks like American goalposts for points. But while we were there, they were having their Ireland National Championship. They do it every year, okay? And it was down to the championship game. And it was big city Dublin, which is the largest city in Ireland, with like
the Yankees.
Like 1 million people, and there's only 4 million in the whole country, against a tiny little rural town called County Kerry, they called it. And County Kerry would be like, my family's from Johnson County. There's a little tiny town called Blum. They still play six-man football. It'd be like Blum taking on South Lake Carroll. It was that big. So everybody in the whole country, like Kerry was green and yellow. Every taxi, every house, every business had green and yellow flags. I mean, not a couple of them, every one of them. Until you got to Dublin, then it was all blue for Dublin. But it was like the entire country was like tired of the Yankees or the Patriots winning, right? So I got home and thought, the game was Saturday night and we left Saturday afternoon. So I thought, I wonder who won. So I looked it up on the Irish Times newspaper website. And I read the final score was Dublin 1-18, County Kerry 0-15. I have no idea what that means, but they tell me that Dublin won. I have zero clues.
1-18.
The final score was 1-18 to 0-15. So I don't know what you had.
How close was it?
I don't know if you had Kerry minus the -4, but anyway, Dublin won. So there's some Irish trips for you. Next up, let's go. You got any Irish questions for me?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And you were able to go on this excursion thanks to your lovely wife, Sybil. And
Sybil does a radio show, and there's a new sponsor of her show called Sharon Carr Travel. It's Sharon Carr with 2 R's, travel.com, and they hooked us up with all the hotels and the buses. Yeah, it was fantastic. We had an Irish escort that would give us the tours of all the different places, and we went to Waterford where they make the crystal. We went to Killarney where I got to play golf one day. We went to see the cliffs of Moher, which are like, imagine Pebble Beach on steroids. It was amazing, like 800-foot dramatic cliffs.
Did you kiss the Blarney Stone?
I did kiss the Blarney Stone.
And what was that
Blarney
like?
Castle.
You've got to actually go upside down, right?
Yeah. To To do the Blarney Stone, you have to. Here's some pictures we're going to run real quick. To kiss the
These are
Blarney
relatives
Stone,
of yours?
First of all, no, they're just a restaurant I stumbled into. To kiss the Blarney Stone, first of all, you got to wait like 30 minutes, like a Six Flags ride. I mean, it was legit. Then you walk up these stairs.
I'd have
I mean,
been
the
so out.
stairs are so tiny that you had to kind of walk sideways.
Yeah.
If you're a XXXL, you're not kissing the Blarney Stone. There's no way. You get to the top, and then yes, you have to lay on your back. That's the Cliffs of Moher right there. I
Wow.
mean, just gorgeous.
Wow.
You have to lay on your back, and a guy holds your feet.
Yeah.
And you have to
Yeah.
you can see down to 1,000 feet down is the ground. And there I am. That's me kissing. See the people down there? I mean, you're up there. That's the Blarney Stone. I was kissing it. That guy was holding me up. And then I felt like I was baptized by the Irish.
Looks a little unsanitary.
It was. Can you imagine? Because there's no here's some wax paper. It was
Yeah,
just
there's nobody there with a little
are you
wipe
kidding me?
after the.
That castle's been around since the 8th century, and you just kiss it and go. So, all right, there's Ireland. I love it. I'd love to visit. I recommend it to anybody. It's just it's a different world. It just reminds me of whenever, the Mavericks won the NBA championship. We're like, they're the world champions, and we think the whole world cares. Ireland does not care about our sport. They just don't. I mean, no offense. They do have beautiful rainbows. I saw one day.
Oh, wow.
But they do not care about American sports. So when you say, we're the world champions, just tone it down a bit. You're the
Bring your
champions-
own sports.
You're the
though.
champions of your league, and that's great. Have a parade and be happy, but don't lump the whole world into it because they just don't care. This was when I played golf in Killarney.
Oh, wow.
And that was my one good drive of the day, so I thought I'd take a picture. And it did rain that day, of course, and got down in the 40s. And I walked by myself, but it was glorious. Glorious Ireland.
Love it.
All right. Check us out. The writing, that story will be up later today at PressBoxDFW.com. And, of course, watch us or listen to us right here on PressBox DFW Live. Next up, got to round the bases, head for home. Let's get up on out of here. All right, let's go live to Ziggy in his cave to see what's happened on Facebook Live today for a full report.
We've had a lot of viewers today, not a lot of comments. So if anybody has any questions that you'd like to ask the guys, now is the time.
We always encourage interactivity here on Press.
We weren't offensive enough.
Yeah, I thought you kind of
No
were.
Jerry fans want to argue with me?
Where's all the Jerry for the Hall of Fame fans?
Oh, well.
Or the Dak is a top 6 quarterback. You've had a good day today.
On
with
the
your proclamation.
On the website,
Yeah, what do
we've
we got
got heavy on football.
Sure.
We've got your observations and as well as Matt Mosley's from the Cowboys game on Sunday, and got a couple of stories that I did from the big TCU victory over Purdue, and particularly I take a stab at what I think is going to happen, what I think we saw with their quarterback situation. I really like the play of Max Duggan,
Right.
true freshman.
So I was gone, but I
on
saw the
Saturday.
score. What, does TCU for real? I saw they're ranked this week. Are they legit?
Well, they played a bottom a team that's probably upper bottom rung in the Big Ten.
Yep.
So,
But a win on the Big Ten
yeah,
on
you
the
go
road
on the
will
road
get you
and
noticed.
you win. Yeah, I think he saw a lot of positive things, and they'll find out soon enough. This is
Yeah.
a good test for them this week. They play SMU, and SMU can score, so
Boy,
they're going to
ever.
have to score.
The Iron Skillet is back in.
That's right.
It's back in vogue.
That's right.
All right, we'll have some Iron Skillet report next week. Maybe we'll
And
find
hopefully,
John Henry.
John
Maybe.
Henry, maybe.
Maybe we won't ask him back, or maybe we will. All right, for Gil Leberton,
Ricky.
for John Henry, I'm Richie Witt. We'll see you in the press box, DFW.